I was approached in early, I think it was about November '73, because I'd had connections with them from the time they did the Flying Circus, and got to know some of them. And I had a partner in a film business at that stage who was a theatre impresario, Michael White. Michael had brought John Cleese and Graham Chapman to London with their Cambridge students show, and in fact taken them to New York as well with it. So there was a history with him, and I kind of knew them. And the budget that they had to make this film was £147,000, which they couldn't raise from normal sources. So Michael and I put together this somewhat like a theatre production of having a lot of small investors. Michael put up half the money, and the rest came from Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and 4 record companies. Rock and roll was kind of important because they understood Python, and you know, they'd all go on the road and take the Python TV series with them, and so they understood and were prepared to put up enough money. Obviously, it cost a bit more in the end, but it really wasn't that much. And because Michael had put up half the money, we retained the rights to sell the film. And Michael didn't know anything about doing that, but I did. And so the film was shot in the spring of '74 in Scotland in 5 weeks. And it was finished, I think we saw our first cut in November, December of '74, and it was a disaster. We had all the investors along, and it wasn't working. And the main reason it wasn't working was actually the soundtrack. That Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam, who were directing it together, had gone for an incredibly realistic sound of crunching bones, and it was just too unreal. I mean, well, it was. Well, I guess it was too real, but and the music they had was very authentic, and it just wasn't funny, which for a comedy is not quite what you want.